All right, so we are back with Mr. Jeffrey's House of Math, Algebra 2. Hey, hey, y'all just text each other angrily instead of yelling, okay? Now, today, for our dress up day, it's on Wednesdays we wear pink, so I kind of went all into it. Uh, what's odd is I'm not used to having this much hair, and it's making my cheeks go a little bit like this. And yes, I had to change my software, so we're trying some new things. All right. And if you hadn't done so yet, hit the bell, hit the like, hit the subscribe, leave a good comment. Now, this is what I need you to do. First thing, of course, after I've already printed all these out on these nice pink handouts, I realized there was a typo because we just can't we just can't have nothing. Okay, so I need you to change this right here to subtract. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to start factoring this. Now, other than, we had problems like this yesterday without the equal zero. Now we add the equal zero, we have a little bit more of a step. All right, we can start factoring by dividing out of x, leaving us with x squared plus x minus 6 equals 0. Okay, so that, you please change it to subtract as it says right there. And I'm trying to get, as we're doing this, because I don't really test run things, we just do it by the this is a high quality operation here. That's why I don't edit videos. It's gold all the time. If y'all are having a hard time seeing stuff, let me know. I can adjust the zoom and whatever. Like, I already think that's a little bit, that might be a little bit more better. um I don't know. All right, so from here, oh, that's right, I can't. All right, so now we need to think about this. Okay, I can't get it to scroll down. All right, this tells us our signs are different. This tells us our bigger number is positive. Now, what two numbers, when you multiply them, you get -6, but when you add them, you get +1. +3 and -2. Now, this is kind of, we have a little bit different than before. We have this x out here. So if we were to cut these, now some people actually has to do this to set these up into 3 different equations. Some people don't. Okay, we're actually, there we go. We're actually going to have this x equals 0, because everywhere we cut it, what if this is 0? What if this is 0? What if this? X plus 3 equals 0, and x minus 2 equals 0. Okay, now, again, some people will not have to do this step. Y'all will remember, hey, it's the opposite sign right here. Uh, you know, all right. So when we solve this, well, what's the only thing that's going to make this one on the far left? What's the only thing that's going to make x be 0? 0, yes. Oh my gosh. The one time I want people to talk, everybody decides to go mute. Okay, so now over here, we get x equals -3. The way we can actually write this is put a comma and then -3. And then right here, we would get x equals 2. All right. And this would be our answer. Now, there are multiple ways that this will be written, especially if you see it in standardized tests and stuff. You'll see it with braces. You'll see it, all the x's, x equals 0, comma, x equals -3. You'll have the -3 first and the 0. I do not care as long as you give me the numbers. I may even say x equals and you just write the numbers. That way I'm not really worried about the formatting. I'm worried, can you actually get to the answer to tell me about it? Okay. And that's literally what we're doing today. Now, the second half today, we're going to look at some stuff that we did yesterday because we still had some people that had issues using the calculators. Okay. So, kind of worried about that. So, other than understanding are y'all able to see correctly, see enough and things like that? Some of y'all are just waiting to this to go live on the YouTube so y'all can like screenshot it and say, I can't believe they let this person be a teacher. Some of y'all are giggling and some of y'all went, how does he know? Now, and yes, I love to break the fourth wall. So let's move on to this next one. So again, like from yesterday, we're going to start with the GCF. We would actually start by dividing out a Q. Okay. That would give us this. Q squared minus Q minus 30 equals 0. Now, if I would have been a really good teacher, I probably would have changed this so it wouldn't be Q. And there probably wouldn't have been a typo, but I'm not a really good teacher, so here we go. Now, as we factor this, we know our signs are different because this is a minus 30. We know the bigger number's negative because of this. Now, what two numbers, when you multiply them, you get -30, but when you combine them, you get -1. Okay, we didn't get the x equals 0, but we got these factors. Y'all are, I mean, this is why I scream in my car before I leave school every day. All right, I just sit there. All right, so we take our ninja sword and we cut it. Are y'all okay? What was really funny? How,
I think it's really funny Mr. Jeffries has a mild mental breakdown before he leaves school every day.
good stuff. Okay. Still trying to, figure this out. All right. So 0, we're going to have -5 and +6. Now, like some people would do, and we will start doing this on this after this one, some people can actually go from here to here. Some people can, not everybody. Okay. So we will, approach accordingly. All right. This question was, does the order matter? Did anybody else hear me previously when I talked about the formatting? No, nobody. Okay. That's fantastic. Yeah, I know. Just so uh as long as you get the numbers I'm looking for, I don't care the order. I don't care if it's I, any permutation combination of what these can be. I do not care. Okay, did I answer your question though? Just give me the numbers. I don't care the order. All right. How do we know which way? In the fact, in factoring? Yeah. The lizard noise? Yeah. That's my that's that's my angry noise. Oh, I know my microphone picked that up. I hope not. All right. We're going to factor out a K. Okay. Factoring's good. Okay. Now, I really hope my microphone can't pick up what the students are saying because they're saying that at one point in time, years from now, the police are actually going to use this as evidence to determine when exactly I snapped. Okay, so what are the factors of 9 that combine to give us 6? Yeah. Now, a couple of ways you could write this. We know because of this K out here by itself, what is automatically one of our answers? 0. Yes. Now, what is the opposite of +3? -3. You only really have to write it once because this is actually called a duality or multiplicity. Where now, if you happen to do this, again, it's okay. And again, the order of the numbers don't matter. All right. So, oh, I said bread. It's funny. Okay. So, anyways, let's roll on. So, first thing we need to do is to add this to both sides. Listen, y'all quit loafing around with these bread jokes. Then it would be cornbread. Whoops. I put these in the wrong order. No, in this. I'm talking in the answer it does. What? Pink. Okay. Can you just let me live my life? That's great. All right. So, so what now? Why would it be negative 3y? Yeah, but these aren't on the same team. This is to the third power and this is squared. I said this is to the third power and this one's squared. I don't know why they say people can't understand my accent. I mean, I talk slow enough for some of y'all to actually pick up on it. All right. All right. So as we're factoring this, okay, this positive tells us our signs are the same. This tells us they're both negative. Okay. This one's really hard. So everybody put on your thinking caps, get out your calculators. What are the factors of 1 that add up to 2? I really expected there to be a pause. I did not expect y'all to actually answer it that way. That's I know. Okay. So now if we're answering this, okay, even if we set this up, this is still 3y squared equals 0. What's the only thing? Why anytime you have like this little monomial by itself, just chilling out, it's the lonesome dove. It's just the kid that nobody ever invited to their birthday parties thing. If it's that person, it's a 0. Okay, what is the opposite of -1? 1. Now you could write both ones or 1 1. It does not matter. That was a student I had in the spring of 2021. Y'all were mentioning their name yesterday. Hmm. No. Okay, so are we good here? Ready to move? Hey, y'all just quit naming names. I mean, y'all are like, was it Billy? Was it Steve? No, I'm not going to say their name. Cheese and crackers. Okay, now this we actually have two options to factor this. We have four terms. Who remembers what we do when we have four terms and we're factoring? Womp, womp, womp. You could factor by grouping, or you can use the box method. No, it's not the quad. Oh yeah, it's the quadratic formula. That no. Okay, now it doesn't matter if you do it by grouping or you do it like this, because either way you're going to use GCFs. Okay, this is this is not a problem for the quadratic formula because this is a cubic problem. Just saying, yeah, listen, nothing grinds my gears more than somebody trying to win an argument with the phrase just saying. I can just say a lot. That doesn't mean anything. I'm not I'm not I'm not purring. It's a it's a growl. Shh. Hey, we'll talk about how to purr like a cat during refuel. Okay, so if we do it with this box method, we find the GCF of this row. The GCF between n third and this is same thing as if we did this, which would be n squared. The GCF this way is minus 9, and then you do the GCF of the verticals, and we get the same thing. Now, we could go from here, okay? If we were to cut these, we'd have n squared minus 9 equals 0, and we would have n plus 2 equals 0. Technically, this one we could, on this side, the n squared minus 9, we could actually factor it out more. Or if we know stuff about things, we can use another method. Okay, so let's pretend, because some people will not know what's going on, that we actually know stuff about things, and we're going to solve this one like this. Okay, now when we do this, well, we could actually take the square root. I don't know, some people just gave up. They're like, oh, he said square root, I'm out. Too many steps. All right, now what is the square root of 9? All right, now remember when we take the square root, there's a what and a what? A positive version and a negative version. So you could actually write it like this, and then this one is going to be minus 2. I have seen it also written like this. Okay. And over here, because if we were to factor this, this would be n plus 3, n minus 3. And it doesn't matter. Okay. I just like throwing that in there to just remind people, hey, you can actually take the square root of stuff. Even though you may not like using the square root, I'm just saying there's different options. And options are good, right? Options are good. Okay. All right. Hang on a second. Over here, did I get the n squared? Okay. Hang on a second. I'm gonna have. All right. Hang on. Bear with me. Ah, there we go. Now, since we have a question about grouping, bless you. Now, if you sneeze again, you're just pushing it. So, remember, if we did it by grouping, okay, we would have an n squared out here and minus 9. All right. If I did this, if I factor this out, I would have n plus 2 here, and I would have n plus 2 here. So when I rewrote it, it would actually look like this. That's where the n plus 2 would come from. Is that more better now? For the 3 people that actually happen to be sitting beside each other that uses grouping, they're like, oh, I get it. It's almost like all of a sudden they were thinking, and where is it? Where is it? Their light bulb went off. All right. Wow, this is a big problem. Still don't know how to do it? Are you serious? I don't know if I'm going to scream in my car. I'll probably sit there and cry for a while. Somebody's going to call the office. They're like, "You have a unique looking human with long pink hair that's illuminated crying in their car. You may want to send somebody to check on them." Teaching is worse for my voice. Okay. Okay. Once we move this over, okay, why is it negative 21p? Well, let's let's look at that. That's p to the third power. This is p to the first. They're not on the same team. Okay, it's like one of them is on varsity, this one's in on freshman squad. They wear the same jersey, but they're not on the same team. Okay. All right. Okay. So we factored this out. Okay. Now, very similar to what we had previous. We cut this. We're going to have 3p equals 0 over here. Okay. And we're going to have p squared minus 7 over here. Now, before I move on, does everybody understand where I got the p squared minus 7? Okay. If we happen to look right here where it's being divided by p, see, I'm factoring it out. So if I have 3 divided by 3, that goes to 1. Okay, if I have 3 p's and I just take 1 out, how many p's do I have? That's why I got the piece. Because it's the GCF. That's the one thing that they have in common. Hey, hey, hey. Jazz would know. All right. So we added a 7 to both sides, and then we take the square root again. Now, if we're writing this answer, the only thing that this could be over here, remember, it's a monomial 0. All right, we took the square root of 7. If we used our calculator, the square root of 7 is just the square root of 7. But remember, what also do we need to put in front of it? The plus and minus. No, not a ah. If my medicine would let me cry, I would totally be in tears right now. I mean, I would just like it would be Niagara Falls. Man, look, listen. Some of y'all would be that employee that the supervisor tells them exactly what to do multiple times, and they say okay, and they do it, and then they says okay, I need you to do this same thing just over here, and they move you to a different location. All of a sudden, you're like, I don't know what's happening. Okay, so yes, some of y'all are going to be the reason that they have safety briefs every day. They're going to be like, hey, y'all be careful around this equipment because we had somebody not pay attention after we told them to, pay attention, and they ended up losing half their hand. Okay, so we're going to do this one similarly. We're going to subtract 16u to the fourth. Okay, that would give us 8u to the sixth minus 16u to the fourth. The reason why we cannot combine them is because, like we've learned previously, we can only combine like terms that have the same variable and exponent. Okay, now I'm about to divide out the GCF. What is the largest number between 8 and 16 that we can, okay, 8. Okay, what is the smallest power of u? Okay, so now watch, this is where the magic happens. Okay, I don't have the magic pen anymore, so I can't do that. All right, I'm working on that. This so 8 divided by 8 is 1. If I have 6 u's and I take away 4, I have 2. So this is how I get u squared. What is 16 divided by 8? Wow, too much of a big pause. I know this is kind of like on the kid shows where they try to break the fourth wall and they talk and the kids are like, "Oh, they're talking to me." Okay, like yeah, can you find the map? Yes, y'all are a lot less exciting. Okay, now yeah, we're gonna have to do the square root of 2. Uh-oh, watch out. Well, since people don't believe me, second square root. Well, that's a decimal point. Fat fingers. It's the square root of 2. So when we're writing our answer, we would say u equals 8, comma, plus or minus the square root of 2. Okay. So believe it or not, I think I actually should leave the webcam this large. It's lovely. Okay. All right. So for right now, we are going to stop where we're at because I have something else for the students to do. Thank you for staying with us for this test run of new technology. Don't forget, hit subscribe, hit the like, hit the bell. Good stuff, good things. Roll Tide.